These three things will unlock the hidden or forbidden campaign pyramid. And the campaign pyramid is the way to create content that always wins. The first angle of the pyramid is what we call evergreen content. So this is a content pillar that is always going to be enjoyed by the masses. So an example of evergreen content is something like this. It's something that is timely to today, timely to 10 years ago, it's timely to the future, right? And a lot of creators love evergreen content, but they don't know how to make something as wide as evergreen content, right? So as an example, I'm a marketing agency guy. Something that's evergreen is me talking about the importance of personal brand. Even in 2025, personal brand is important. It was important in 2015. It was important in 2035. But unfortunately, if I talked about the same principles of SEO that were working 3 years ago, that's not necessarily going to be as useful to 2025's version of SEO, which is not going to be as useful as the type of SEO we'll do 10 years from now, right? But evergreen content is wide in its appeal and can cross time periods from past to present. So that's the first part of the campaign pyramid. Now, the layer 2 of the campaign pyramid is seasonal content. Right? So this is something like, okay, if it's December and you're in e-commerce, Q4, you know that's when you print, right? So you make content around that time of the year because it's necessitous to the climate and the events going on within that time of the year. I own other companies across Australia. I own an event in Melbourne, right? And we do events all across the year. We have events that have themes for winter. We have events that have themes for the start of the year. And we have themes that are for spring and summer. Okay, so what I would do if I was a purely event nightclub guy, I would talk about content that is necessitous or relatable to specifically the times of the year which are running events. Hey, for all the people that want to pop out, here's winter fashion so you can look really good when you go to this event, yada, 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 right? Seasonal content. That is the second pillar, the second layer to our campaign pyramid. Now, the third one that everyone does, but people aren't as very methodical with, is reactive content. Right? So that's if someone gets canceled. Like when recently that CEO quit his job or got fired, both of them really, because he got caught cheating on his wife. That is reactive content. Really good, really high viral, but it's not evergreen content. It's not always going to be the topic of conversation or relevant to the masses, right? But mixing in reactive content with the evergreen content and with the seasonal content allows you to experience occasional spikes that really pop up. I'll give you an example. My other company called SaaS Central. An example of our version of reactive content is Pop the Balloon. We are literally releasing Pop the Balloon later this month on that channel. And Pop the Balloon is a trend. It's probably near the end of that trend, to be honest. We're probably posting a bit late, but that is something that is reactive, it's timely, it's popping. So therefore, we're gonna drop an Aussie version of Pop the Balloon, right? But a more evergreen piece of content that we're producing through SaaS Central is an episode that's coming out later this season called, Do Men and Women Think the Same? Right? Because there's always going to be, that topic of, between the genders, what's right and what's wrong. That's evergreen. That's going to apply to people that are going to watch it in 10 years. It's going to apply to people that are already in their 50s, 60s, 90s, 100s, whatever, right? So those three things create or compose what we call the campaign pyramid, okay? Evergreen, seasonal, and of course, reactive or viral. And with these three things, if you can put these on a flywheel within your content strategy, you might be surprised how big you grow. And maybe you'll get 1 billion views like my other company, SaaS Central did, which now has its internet domain, SaaScentral.com, which is literally worth over $180,000 as of the 7th of August, 2025, right? So you'll be surprised what can happen when you play your cards right. Take care.